I've had a superb shopping experience today in the heart of Oxfordshire at Bicester Village. With over 150 fashion and lifestyle boutiques, the selection is unbelievable. I'm looking for a smart, casual outfit that can take me from day to night. Let's see what Bicester Village has to offer. And you know what else has been unbelievable? The savings they offer. From Astrid and Miu, Anina Bing to Aquazura, fashion, footwear, jewellery, houseware to skincare, Bicester Village has everything. I mean, again, the colour is just so good and it feels so nice. I really like it. Not only that, they offer so many delicious restaurants to choose from as well. I'm off now to Cicconi's for a late lunch and a glass of bubbly.
Cheers.
I love it here. And did I mention, it's only an hour on the train direct from London? To enter a prize draw to win £500 worth of shopping at Bicester Village, follow the link in the description. T's and C's apply. So your first failure is about your nan's bangle.
Oh, let me take a sip of water.
I know, I've never had a failure like this before, and it's so sad because it's so obviously a loss.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell us the story.
So, on the night of the premiere, the London premiere for No Time to Die, which, because of the pandemic and everything that was happening in the world, that premiere had been pushed by, it felt like 2 years.
Yeah, I remember. We were desperate for the Bond film.
Yeah. So it eventually come and it had all my friends and the family and was so excited. I had a bangle of my nan's who passed away when I was 14. I was 34 at the time, literally 34 when this premiere took place. So I'd been wearing that bangle for 20 years straight. Even in school, I'd take it off for some sports and then put it back on again. Something in me told me to take it off. I don't know if it wasn't necessary with the other jewelry I was wearing or what, but I just took it off and put it by some jewelry that my stylist had set aside and went to the premiere, had a great time. And then towards the end of the night, I was like, where's my bangle? Just had a pull on my gut. I was like, something's happening with my bangle. Let me just check where it is. So my makeup artist was coming in to the room to prep for me coming back to get ready for another thing. And I asked him to look and he was like, can't see it anywhere. I'm going to keep looking until you get back. And I came back and saw his face and I was like, seen it? And he was like, it's not anywhere. Let's look together. And we literally turned the room upside down and it was not there. And I spent the rest of the evening going, well, it's gonna come back because it's my nan's bangle. I don't live without that. It's been 20 years. And it never came back. And it has been one of the most painful things to experience, having lost this person and then having this one thing that keeps you. It's almost like a tick when you feel the thing, a ring or something. You feel so connected to that person because their energy is in this object, and now it's just not here. It was just a strange, sad experience.
I'm so sorry. I can feel the sadness.
Yeah.
And there are so many things I want to say, but first of all, I want to ask about your nan, because I'd love to know more about what she was like and how important she was to you growing up.
Yeah, highly. She was my second mum, really. I spent a lot of time there. She kind of split part raised me with my parents and then her. My primary school was literally the end of her road. So I spent a lot of time there, going from there to school, learning how to cook, learning how to be an old granny, to be honest. That's why I became so mature so young. And just being filled with a different age of wisdom at such a young age. She was traditional Jamaican, really funny but serious, like business minded, came to England, at a young age with her children and bought a townhouse in Shepherd's Bush, had a business, like really made it, paid off her mortgage. Like it was all very, like, that's one of the examples of it is possible because my nan had 3-4 stories in her house as a child, and we didn't come from money. So she just taught me how to be. A lot of the things you see of me today, I believe is because of how she part raised me.
What was her name?
Gertrude.
Oh, what a great name.
I know. Gertie.
Gertie. So chic.
Good, I'm glad you think that.
Did she talk to you a lot about Jamaica?
Yeah, she did, in the very traditional way, in the kind of, being a woman of the market, selling things, developing a business mind, the feeling of Jamaica, because we couldn't afford to go every 6 months. So a lot of my education of what Jamaica was and what it represented came through her. And her connection to her country and her gratitude for how the country raised her. It was not easy. It wasn't an easy life, but she, I think a lot of the salt of the land, if you like, is like still, it was deposited in her in a really nice way, through cooking and stories and connection and community. A lot of that came from her.
Do you think she knew what you would end up being?
I don't know if she... No, I'm lying. I think she knew.
Really?
I think she knew for a few reasons. So I sang before I acted, and I was really... it was just very clear that something was happening with me creatively. And she was one of the first to see it. And she spoke to my mum about it, which of course I found out later down the line. And she said, no, this girl is going to, like, in her words, she's like, she's going to put food on your table. She's going to bring money into the house. She's going to like bring something into the family that's going to be really special. She's blessed. And my mum was like, yeah, I see that as well. Like, we're going to let her do all the extracurricular things. And she's like, no, she's different. I feel something in her that is coming. And I think that, like, you should prepare for it. My mum was like, sure, yes, It's my child. Of course I'm going to do that. But she definitely, I was thinking about this earlier, actually. The drama school that I ended up going to in my late teens, she had spoken to my mum about that drama school when I was a child. And it was only when I got into that drama school that my mum said, your nan had actually talked to me about this school. We just ended up going to Sylvia Young instead because my godmother's son went there and it just made sense. But it could have actually been this. But now it's interesting that we've come full circle many years down the line, not even 10 years since her passing, and you're here being educated round the corner from her house in the school that she predicted.
There's such a sense of spiritual closeness and guidance here that I'm getting from Gertrude and your relationship with her.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you have probably thought this, that bangle was there for the journey to where you were always destined to be.
Yeah.
Which is on the red carpet, a James Bond film.
And
then maybe she felt like, I've done this bit and she doesn't need me in the same way anymore. It's
so interesting that you say that, because one of my best friends said exactly that when I was going through that grieving process. And I didn't believe it until maybe a couple months down the line when I could finally talk about it without crying, that it's true. I feel like there was something that had cracked open at that time, that premiere or that film or that part of my life, or there was something that was being shed that, in a weird way, that was a part of it. You don't need to hold on to all of these things from the past, namely things that come with me, because one, I'm here all the time. She genuinely is. But also, you've learned, this is what I feel like the message was, you've learned so much about who you are and who you need to be now. that you don't need the safety net. Security, absolutely. But you don't need to feel, jolted when you don't sense the security net is there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just before we move on to your next failure, looking back now on No Time to Die, because I imagine it was frenetic and surreal to go through, and then there's the delay of the pandemic, and that's a different level of stress. How do you feel about it now, that experience?
Oh, definitely proud and really, sometimes I see clips and like pictures and things and I'm like, gosh, that really happened. Like that. So it's not like a pinch me moment, but it is like it just feels like its own isolated thing, because it is so huge and because, these films began when my nan was around and, my dad took me to the cinema a couple of times when I was a child to watch some of the early Bond movies and just the character alone, which I didn't know when I was auditioning that Nomi was going to be 007, by the way.
Didn't you?
No. No,
How
I did
cool.
not know.
When did you find out?
When
you got the script?
Well, kind of, yeah. Yeah. It was still early on, but it wasn't upon getting the part. So it was, I look at it as this kind of moment with all of these things that helped me push past a part of myself in order to step into these massive shoes that actually ended up just being shoes.
Yes, they just were your shoes.
They're my shoes now. Yeah, or sandals or heels or whatever you want.
That.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to check out the full episode of How to Fail on your preferred podcast platform, and also be sure to follow us on social media for the latest updates.